Welcome everyone. My name is Nigel Ponda, one of Chippy's ecosystem ubiquitous owners. I am so excited to have you on this episode. Let the ordinary man thrive. Sometimes I just sit and think about the ordinary person like the one nobody is really talking about. Not the billionaires, not the influencers, not the people who own the headlines. Just the everyday person trying to live, trying to make something work. And it's strange, because when you look at the world, that ordinary person is actually the majority. Like most of humanity thrives there. But someone or somehow systems are not really built for them, they are built around them, but not for them. So yeah, that is when something feels off, right? Because if the majority of people are just trying to survive, if they don't feel or if they don't have real access to opportunities, ownership, or even the ability to shape their future, then what exactly are we building as a civilization? Like, who is this progress really for? And yeah, people will always say things like work harder, be smarter, or find opportunities. But if we are being honest, a lot of people don't even get the chance to play the game properly. Not because they don't want to, but because the system itself is not designed to include them fully. So the question becomes, what if we actually flipped that? What if instead of expecting the ordinary person somehow or to break complex systems, we build that systems and include them naturally from start, not as users, customers, clients, like not as laborers, but as owners of different systems. Because think about it, the small shop owner, the street vendor, the young person with an idea but no capital, the worker who shows up every day but owns nothing. These are not small people, they are just the people in the systems that don't reflect their value. And the moment you give someone ownership, even a small piece, something changes. They start to think differently. They start to caring. They start building differently. And because it's now not just survival, it's about co-creatorship. It's about participation. It's about belonging. So that is where Chippy's ecosystem becomes important again, because we are trying to do this at a scale to create a system where the so-called ordinary person is not left at the edges but placed at the center of value creation, where anyone can co-own something, anyone can participate in building, anyone can access opportunities without needing permission. And yeah, it sounds simple when you say it like that, but in reality it is a huge shift to the lives of the majority, because most systems today are designed in layers. At the top, a few people own and decide. At the middle, some people manage and operate. At the bottom, the majority just execute and survive. And this is basically saying, let's um, um, the ordinary person cannot thrive because he is there just to consume. So with Chippy's ecosystem, we are basically saying, no, let's try and flatten that. Let's create a system where ownership is distributed, value flows back to people, participation is not limited by status, location, or background. And when you think about it, if billions of ordinary people suddenly have access to ownership, suddenly have access to value, or to systems that actually include them, that is not a small thing. That is a complete transformation of how world works. Because now innovations comes from everywhere through co-creatorship. Value is created everywhere. Growth is shared everywhere. And that is how you build real abundance. Not by concentrating everything in a few places, but by unlocking the potential of everyone. Because the truth is, the ordinary person is not lacking intelligence, creative, or drive. What has been lacking is access, access to ownership, access to systems that include them. So yeah, that is not about, for example, those who talk about empowering everyone, like in their slogans, NGOs, charities that provide with the charities that provide with donations, the aids. It's not about helping people to survive. It's about including them, creating systems where people can actually thrive on their own terms, where dignity is restored, where effort connects to reward, where people can build something that belongs to them. And yeah, when that happens, uh, humanity itself will change. People's individual lives will change, even families, communities, and entire civilization. Because a world where the ordinary person thrives is a world that is stable, creative, and resilient. And honestly, that is the kind of a world that actually lasts. So yeah, maybe the goal is not to create a few extraordinary outcomes, but the real goal is to let the ordinary person thrive, which I think is more even powerful. Because when an ordinary person thrives, everyone else is thriving. So, with Chip's ecosystem, we are trying and making sure that we achieve that goal at scale. Thank you very much.